If you're looking to train for prone paddleboarding, but you don't have a prone paddleboard or a lake that is thawed nearby, then here are some alternatives that you can do in the gym. I like to use 2 elastic bands that are tied to a sturdy station that won't be moved when I pull onto them. You can do this first option standing, which will mimic kneeling on a paddleboard. So going back as far as you feel comfortable, hinging over at the hips and make sure that your back is nice and flat. A slight bend in your knees. With your arms reached out as far as you can, you're going to lean forward, reach down, pull through and back, stopping approximately mid-shin, pulling up, and then recovering. Reaching forward, leaning down, pulling back to about mid-shin, bringing up and recovering. When we're doing the pull, making sure that we're not pulling with our elbows, because when we're pulling in the water, we want to have a nice high elbow pull with your palms facing back. I have a tendency to keep my fingers open, however, we do want them a little bit more closed. Keeping that high elbow all the way here. And unlike swimming, we don't need to finish all the way back here. We can finish here. So if you're going to do this in a workout, starting off with approximately 30 seconds with rest and repeating it for a certain number of time, and working your way up to being able to do a minute or 2 continuous with rest and repeating would be a great start and a great finish. It would look a little bit like this. Reach forward, down, pull, reach forward, down, pull, and continuing to do this motion in a nice, strong, consistent effort. So we just did the standing alternative, which kind of mimics your kneeling prone paddleboarding. If you wanted to practice your prone paddleboarding on your stomach, or also alternatively train for swimming if you don't have access to a pool, these would be 3 great progressions that you can work towards. You'll need a bench, and on the 3rd progression, you'll need some counterweight. So either a friend, or what I'll be using and what you'll see later in this video, is some sandbags that I'll be placing at my ankles. So modification number 1 are 2 bands hooked up to a sturdy surface, laying on my stomach so that my chest is at the edge of the bench, grabbing onto both bands, 1 arm at a time. I'm going to press down to go mimic going deep in the water, high elbow pull all the way to mid-shin if I'm training for prone paddleboarding, all the way to full extension if I'm training for swimming. And then you can recover under the water, which you wouldn't do in an actual swim stroke or an actual paddleboard stroke. However, with the resistance band, if you go up and pull, it could cause some injury on the shoulder and loss strain on the shoulder. So we want to avoid that. So we're kind of mimicking some doggy paddling, which we wouldn't actually do on the water or in the water, but that's okay here. So how it would look like, you can start with approximately 30 seconds of effort, going down and pull, alternating sides. Nice and strong and consistent. Making sure to not let the band pull your arm back. You're pulling hard and controlling back. Starting with approximately 30 seconds and working your way up to a minute to 2, always taking rest in between your efforts and working for a certain duration of time. Option number 2, you're going to pull this back slightly so that the bottom of your rib cage is now at the edge of the seat. Here, it may be a little bit uncomfortable without counterweight, but if you can, it's really going to work on strengthening that lower back, and you're going to continue to do that same motion. Option number 3, you're going to want to push the seat even further back. You're going to want to put some counterweight on your ankles. So here, I have sandbags because I don't have any friends with me who can help. You can kneel down, place both sandbags on your ankles, 1 and 2. Or if you have a friend or another way to put on some counterweight, that might be better, go ahead and do that. Placing your hips at the edge, reaching forward and grabbing on to your counterweight, and then doing it from this position. Here we're really going to be working not only on the lower back, but on the hamstrings. The further forward you shimmy, the more counterweight you'll need, but the more you're going to work on stabilizing in the core, that lower back, the hamstring.